All right. Welcome. How's it doing? I'm Agent Ultra, and on this stream, I do stuff in Haskell, generally. Other programming languages occasionally too, but anyways, it's good to see you. Welcome back. If it's your first time tuning in, that's kind of what I do. The project I've been working on for the past little while is a database client in Haskell for a database called TigerBeetle. TigerBeetle is a financial transactions database. Happens to be written in Zig. Not that it's super important here, but I decided to write this client in order to learn more about the database, how it works, things like that, and of that nature. And yeah, there you go. So that's what we're going to be working on tonight. And backseat programming is okay on this stream. Questions, you can always stop, ask any questions you want. I am happy to chat about what you see or what you don't understand or opinions on things or check out projects you've made as well. All good. So why don't we dive into the code and start getting going? We've mostly made it through a good chunk of the sync client. So there's going to be like two versions of the client here that's going to be offered by the library. A synchronous version where you can block on every call to the database, or an asynchronous version, which will come later, where you'll do things asynchronously. And that'll give you maximum concurrency and performance, perhaps. But sync will be a nice way to like test things out, figure out how it works and what to do with your own stuff, and like see if it's actually going to work for you. That kind of thing. Or, you know, maybe you've got the kind of application where a sync call isn't that big of a deal. So there'll be two versions of it. Anyway, we're going to be nearly done the sync line. So let's kind of check out the code and what we're working on. Recently, we just added pretty much most of the commands. I think we added this query accounts command. Yeah. So we just got to do the transfers this week, I believe. So creating transfers between accounts, things like that. Cool. Let's get into it. Right, we're already here. Let's go. Source, database, TigerBeetle, client, and sync. This is where we're implementing pretty much most of the sync API here. Right, so we got submit, create accounts, look up accounts, get balances, get account transfers, query accounts. We go to the client header, operations, or TV operation. Yeah, we just have to create transfers. I don't know what pulse is for. Should probably learn about that, figure what that is, and maybe get events. But yeah, create transfers. I think we have lookup transfers, but we might need to implement that one. And query transfers probably. Those will be all three, R3. Right a little there, so look up and query. So let's go with create transfers. Of course, always in monad IO. It's going to probably take a list of transfer. Maybe create transfer. I think what's we called for create account as well. Yeah. This will be like our input parameters for each transfer you want to create. And that'll be a sync client as well for the TV response. Okay, transfers. Nice little refactoring we did last week. We just do sync submit Somebody adjusted my keyboard tray. I can't type. Maybe it was me or my cat. There we go. We gotta go account. Probably transfer. Create another module. Go, and then we check the status. Awaiting the result if it was good, otherwise error out. Cool. All right, let's get our builder going. Tell us what's wrong. I use GHCID for now. Okay, so then we have to do the create transfer type, of course. Let's go ahead and create a module for that. I think I capitalized it actually. Yeah. Okay, create transfer. What are we going to need for that? We look at, let's say, the FFI layers. Transfer module there. I think we're going to have to fill out one of these. One or more of them. And then that's the transfer result. Okay, so transfer. Okay, so we're going to need some account IDs, it looks like. Transfer ID, an amount, pending ID, some user data things we're not using at the moment. Let's see, transfer timeout, transfer ledger. The code, not sure what that one is. Some flags and a timestamp. Okay, I think we can fill in the timestamp. So our create type will probably just need, let's see, transfer ID. Create a new type for that. It's going to be forward 128. We're going to need to import. Need a wide word for that. Okay, and then for account, account IDs. Actually, do we do that at a higher level? We do. Okay, it should be up here then. Let's go to here. We're going to move that. That here. And probably update the cabal file. These are not quite in the order they should be. Okay, and back here, we're going to import database, TigerBeetle, transfer, get a transfer ID. Let's bring our module back. Yeah, we're going to need to import a count as well to get the count ID. Create transfer debit account. ID. Credit account. And should we create a new type wrapper for amount? Probably. Put a wide word, and then just need to type it. And import it here. And update the cabal file. And I broke GHCRD. What did I do? Yeah. Sorry, messed up the cabal file. There we go. Oops, we have to import that. Transfer. Oh, these are all out of order too. Bye. Oh, Oh, we have the, okay. We put the kind of like API types up here. Okay, that's cool. And the amount. There we go. Okay, so back to sync. Well, that's sorted. So we don't have like all of the parameters yet for this. Maybe we should finish that off. And then we can get back to the sync there. So let's get the transfer. There we go. The amount. Pending ID. Pending ID. I don't know what that is. If we need to put it in, we'll put it in. But I'm going to leave it out for now. Do we need to set the transfer timeout? Maybe the ledger. For create account, what do we do for create account? Do it as an int. Although it would be technically wrong because it's got to be an unsigned word 32. Yeah, I don't know. Probably said this before. It's like sometimes more convenient to do it as int and then like document what it should be and throw an error. To make people deal with word 32 and word 64 and word 128 and yada yada yada. I don't know if I'm going to change my mind on that, but we'll do it this way for now. I could change my mind on that, maybe. Okay, transfer code. Still not sure what that is. That's a word 16. It's even smaller. I'm gonna leave that out of this. Transfer flags. What are the transfer flags? Alright, here we are. Linked pending, post pending transfer, void pending transfer, balancing debit, balancing credit, closing debit. Closing credit imported. Yeah, those. Yeah, we should probably support all those and the create thing. That seems important. Make that a set of transfer flag. We'll need to define what a transfer flag is. Will be bounded. Equal show. Do transfer post pending. Just prefix all of these with transfer. I'm just trying to keep the FFI names from having to be imported at this level of the library. So this is what I want used to import. I want to be able to hide the FFI stuff behind the raw interface. So if you still need it, you can use it, but you don't have to like use it in your code. Because a lot of the levels, like it's all prefixed with TB, the types are all prefixed with TB, so that you know that they're like, they correspond to the C types, the C header, they can change internally. Things like that as new versions of the library come out. And just want to like provide us a split point for us to support the libraries going forward. So things can kind of stay relatively stable on the user side. But of course, constructor names will clash unless you qualify things, and then code gets messy. So I don't know. I don't like prefixing types so much, even though I do it a lot in my code in Haskell. Just because, like, yeah, I don't know. Importing, I try these days. I try to design libraries to be imported qualified, so I don't have to have these like weird prefixed names everywhere. Yeah, maybe I should still do it here. And just deal with the conflict. Let's see how it goes, how it feels. We get weird name conflicts and clashes. Okay, there's our create transfer type. Let's go start fixing this type error in sync. All right, so we don't have transfer.create transfer. All right, we're going to import database TigerBeetle client.transfer qualified as transfer. We're going to find that here. All right, so this has got to be a list of create transfer to IO foreign pointer TV packet. So let's get the imports fixed. Database, TigerBeetle, transfer. Foreign pointer. And TV packet comes from our internal library, database, our internal module. Client. Okay, so that's all good. We'll bind transfers, create a hole. It's probably going to be somewhat similar to how account does it. We're calling that lower level raw layer to, which is going to call the IO layer for us to construct a pointer to a TV packet. So we'll call it TV transfers. And we'll map them, create TV transfers, transfers, create the packet pointer. And then we finally create a new foreign pointer wrapper around the packet. That's that. So we take a single instance of a create transfer and return a raw TB transfer. All right, we don't have that raw layer implemented yet. Let's go do that. Okay, well, we have the module. That's nice. Let's just create the function we want. We'll give it a silly type. That's just to get GHC to tell me what the type should be. Oh, supposed to be, sorry, create transfers packet. And that's because we gotta go import database TigerBeetle transfer qualified as raw. Does not export TB transfer. Ah, okay, yes. So I just use an export list in the raw account here. So to re-export the TP account from the FFI layer through this module plus this module's contents, just so we don't export just so that we don't have to expose the FFI modules directly. We can expose it through these modules a bit at a time. What do I do? Well, here's where we should put it. And its constructor. Yeah. Lift.io is not imported. So the type it should have. speed that. There we go. We gotta import one remote pointer. And client. There we go. Okay, so then we just have to basically do what we did for accounts as well as pack this all into a TV packet. I'll just call it transfer sound. Try to keep things consistent. Transfer data. Transfer data size. Pack transfers. Allocate our pointer. Poke it. I think this is probably mostly all going to be the same, except I'm going to cast from TB account, TB transfer, void from the transfer data. So we transfer data size. We create transfers. Okay. Da-da-da. Back. And we got enable type applications here. Okay, and I need a vector. That'll be a list of TB transfers to an IO pointer of TB transfer. Actually, tuple and int. Malloc comes from Malloc. No, what is it again? Or .marshall.alloc. There we go. And that comes from storable. Need to tidy that up there. Da, da, da. Okay, and on 47, what do we got here? TV packet status. And that's where we get the conflict, isn't it? Mm-hmm. So how to resolve this ambiguous occurrence? Probably the best way. Maybe import the rest of it qualified. Okay. So then to pack our transfers. Probably gonna be mostly the same. Okay. Import control.monad for that 4M. Gotta change this name. Okay. Hey, Adpex Twin Dong, what's going on? How you doing? Welcome to the stream. Okay, so now we've got the function for creating the transfers packet. That's going to be sent in the command from here. What else do we need? We need to handle responses. query counts. So we got to handle query transfers. Transfer 0 TB transfer. Let the num results. Let's probably use some refactoring here. Size of TB transfer. Create transfers response. Create transfer result response. Did I mistype something and I just copy it? Oh, transfer. Oops. That's why. So this could match the type TB transfer, TB create transfer result. Oh, is there a create a transfers result? Maybe there is. Let's go look at that level again. Transfer HSC. Transfer. Oh, create transfer result. It is. Okay. So we just need to parse these. This type. Beep, 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 beep. Beep, beep, beep. And beep. Yeah. This is called transfer result. Call transfers result. Okay, we need a storable instance for that. Oh, okay. Because it's the structs. Ah, sheesh. One little letter is the difference between the two. Okay, so create transfers result is what we want to decode those from. Transfers result. There we go, that's better. Okay, and we're all good. Okay, cool. So that's results. I think that should be enough to try this out. I think that's everything. Why don't we go ahead and try updating main app and creating a transfer between some of the accounts we've created. Although, like, none of the accounts were created have any balance. I don't know what to expect here, but we'll see what response we get. Okay, so we'll let the transfer equal create transfer. Yeah, we got a bunch of fields to fill in here. Create a transfer ID. We're going to create a debit account ID. I'm going to grab these over here, pop them over here. Okay, clean those up, and we need an amount. Probably should create a smart constructor for it. Hopefully that'll be good enough. Ledgers and the accounts that I created things on with our database. Let's check those out. So bin DB REPL. Oh, I haven't started the database. Good times. Let's just follow those logs. There we go. And we will get that REPL. There. We can create accounts, create transfers, look up accounts. Okay, that one's created on ledger 700. Create transfer flags. Let's try linked. And then we need accounts. ID 1, and we'll credit the account ID 9. see what we get. And we'll run it. Of course, we get a bunch of import stuff because we haven't imported a bunch of things, so we need to import. So we need transfer. We need amount. Link is our transfer flags. We need transfer. Should have that. Oh, it needs to be a set. Yeah, I gotta update the goodball file. Add the containers dependency to the executable. Okay, we got, what do we get? Ooh, okay, these are FFI errors. With the linker errors. Create transfers packet. Okay, there's a problem here. Oh, Cabal file, maybe. That's probably what it is, yeah. It's just missing a symbol it's expecting to link against. Ah, there we go, undefined. I left something undefined, maybe. I did. Ah, yes. Okay. To be transferred, we're gonna create the raw. With our fields here. So let's get GHCID going back again. The language record wildcards. And we're going to create a TV transfer here. Hello data. Yeah, let's qualify as raw. Which is going to be get transfer IP from our create transfer. I'm going to need more. Alright, so let's just grab all of this. All the way down. Settles down like that, and the account ID, the create transfer debit account ID. We'll get the account ID, the create transfer credit account ID. And we'll get the amount from the create transfer amount. Create transfer debit account ID. Oh, I gotta prefix all of these with raw. Yeah. Okay, then we gotta import this TigerBeetle account, and we're gonna need database TigerBeetle amount. Okay, pending ID. Did we do that for create? I'm gonna fill that in there. Zeros. Well, let's put something in there for now. We'll have to have a from integral in front of it. Our flags. Now that's going to need import data.set qualified as set. And that has a map function on it. Just for sets. Like that. Let's call it to raw transfer. Oops, that's flags. Two raw transfer flags. Set dot map on create transfer flags. Transfer timestamp. It's probably going to be like some kind of Unixy timestamp. Oh, okay. Yeah, we gotta go from transfer flag to our TB transfer flag, right? Okay. And raw doesn't export that, so let's make raw do that. Okay, and we'll use lambda case for that. Language lambda case. All right, so we got linked. Let's just grab them all here. This will be raw post pending transfer. Void pending transfer. Balancing debit. Oops. Balancing credit. Closing credit. And imported. Cool. All right, now it should work. Hopefully, mostly. Okay, create transfer result response. We got an empty list, looks like. Interesting. Did it not create the transfer? Let's see. How do we look up transfers? Create transfers. Oh, that's interesting. Maybe we should copy this. So it does ID1, debit account 1, credit 1, amount, letter, and code. Okay, anyways. Get account transfers. Account ID 1, flags equals debits or credits. Okay. No transfers were found. So, no error. Empty result set. Hmm. And nothing on 9. We created it as linked. Okay, no transfers, none. Okay. All right, let's, well, it kind of sort of works. Let's work in progress commit this. Oh, of course. Oh, of course. I do it every time. Okay. Work in progress. Create transfers. Command. Okay. It kind of. Oh, I want to make sure we can actually make it work. So first things first. Let's just copy the parameters that the REPL gives you. In fact, the REPL didn't even seem to let you set flags, or at least in examples it didn't see. I'm gonna leave the flags in there, maybe, but let's see. ID, credit count, minimum amount, ledger. Nothing is code. Maybe that's what we need. Does account have that? we do okay, let's look up account ID 1 again. We set its code to 10. Okay, and we will then have to go into transfer here. That's probably going to truncate. Okay, because int can hold at least 32 bits. And probably have to update transfer here. Oh, that's already done. Then let's just check raw. No, I don't think that touches anything about the actual data itself other than packing it into an array. Okay. Oh, we didn't add. Oops. Okay, still got an empty response. No transfers found for account ID 1. Okay.
Savage as hell.
What's the REPL doing? If I could create one manually in the REPL, let's try one here. Create transfers equals 1, debit account D equals 1, credit account ID equals 9. Let's just create a $0 zero amount. What was the ledger again? $700 and code 10. Failed to create transfer. 0. Transfer account must have the same ledger. Let's check the transfer results. Create transfer results. Might be this error there that it's the REPL is catching. So we should be able to catch that too. Because create transfers results index and create transfer result. This should be the enum. The result. Okay, and the storable, we peek at it, we unmarshal TB, create account transfer result, IF mapping over this peak to the field in the struct pointer. And that unmarshal is just doing a to enum marshal. Yeah, from integral, so it's taking the word 32 and then going to to enum. So to enum should be going to this instance. Yeah. Okay. We're not getting that result though. Why not? Let's see, what could it be? Let's look at maybe a little debugging. We get the response. So in here, we're gonna do a little bit. We're gonna just do a little print debugging. Import debug.trace qualified. Let's debug. Let's make sure we're actually getting enough results. Take that out of there, run this. And that's going to be that. Okay, we got a result len of 8, which means we should be getting our struct back. And getting at least one. So it's something with our decoding. That's what it is. The size of here, we're getting in create transfers, because we're trying to do a size of a TB transfer struct when we really want to be doing a size of a TB create transfers result struct. Something like that. It's always going to confuse me. I don't know if I should do something about that, but TB create transfer result is yeah, that. Okay, now here. Oh, the OK is create count result. We're going to have to get around that. Try to do a qualified import around here. So this is transferred. Okay, sweet. Okay. There we go, that's better. Okay, so we get linked event chain open, whatever that is. Awesome. I'm guessing you can like stack up a bunch of transfers into like a chain of events on an account before applying them. Cool. Alright, we'll kill that. We will stage that. That's good. Sweet. Okay, let's rebase that. Squash those together, reword that one. I guess we don't really have to do anything with the time. I assume the timestamp field is going to be filled in by the server. So is that actually created? Now, if we go into the REPL again, look those up. It still says nothing, but we got the result that said it was. How do I look those up? I just put like all in there. Does that do anything? Doesn't seem to validate flags much here. Hmm. Yeah. I guess. Let's check the logs. We got invalid filter for get account transfers. Okay. I guess you have to set some of the flags, like debits, credits. Padding. Hmm. Yes, interesting. So the REPL doesn't seem to like even tell you if you've like done something silly with lookups. Seems super helpful. Oh, sorry, Grim Vandelli, you've been banned. And reported. Anyways, that doesn't seem super helpful. I doubt users of TigerBeetle are going to be using the REPL that much, so it's kind of forgivable. But still. If I don't specify the flags field or I give something wrong for it, a nice error would be great. Let's tail the server logs. That was fine, but if I go like this... Oh no, okay, that was fine. But if I try... Okay, that's where I got the error. Yep. I see. Okay. Hello, Haskell Kitty. Haskell Kitty says hello. Hello! You go sit in your little seat. Little bed. She has a little bed beside my desk where she usually sits while I code. But sometimes she sits on my lap or stands on my keyboard. Okie dokie. Yeah. Alright, so that kind of works. Let's go to our to-do list. No, not that one. Oh, I don't have... Okay, maybe I closed it. Oh, because I had to close Unix. Yeah, all right. Yeah, so create transfers command. Next. We don't have a ton of time for the next one. Let's see if we could do like maybe a little cleanup. Maybe in response. So some of these are very similar, some of them are not. What they all seem to have in common is this block here. See if we can make a function for that. Decode response item elements. Results. Let's get the result. Oh, we need the result data as well. Okay, so we got to parameterize the size of this thing. Response object. Result len, we're gonna need that. Scope as well. Maybe make it and the results is already there. The result data. And then I'll give it like a silly type here, but I'll try using it. Let's try using it and create accounts. Well, this type application is going to be different per thing as well, which is going to be kind of... There's a way, I think there's a way to do that. To bring it, because this right now is going to be a value. Yeah, we want the type of that value. I think we could do it with a proxy. maybe. Because we need to be able to parameterize that part. We can't just go response object. All right, Haskell will complain at us about that. Let's close all other panes, close that down, and I'll get GACID up to show you what I mean. So then let's just not bind it. All right, now to scope type variable response object, right? This is not a type. Yeah, it's probably not gonna work here. Let's give it a, let's fool around a little bit. Data.proxy. Maybe? We don't know what type response object is. It could be whatever type the caller decides it would be. Result data is going to be a pointer void. And result len is going to be an int to an IO of A. Yeah. Yeah, proxy is probably not going to work there. Let me bring this silly type back for a second. We'll pop this out. use the function. And what are we supposed to give a response object? That's a good question. It'll be this, a value of this. Give it result data and result len directly. Hopefully inference will tell us a little bit more. Nah, inference isn't going to help us here. Right. So pop that bad boy back in. Yeah, that's not going to work. And we can't use... Yeah, that's the thing. You can't bring like the type level identifier up here. There's like two languages in Haskell, right? There's like the type language, which is all of this stuff up here. And then there's like the value level language, like all this stuff down here. And they don't share identifiers generally. Generally, it's not entirely true. There is ways to do it. So, yeah, I'll have to play around with that a little bit, figure that out, because we're out of time to stream this week. So, we'll leave it there. I will stash that. And I'll push this up to the GitHub repository. So my name is Agent Ultra. Thanks for watching the stream and hanging out. All the code you've seen tonight is on GitHub at Agent Ultra as well, under TigerBeetle HS. That's the name of the library. This is a client library for Haskell for the TigerBeetle database, which is a financial transactions database. All right, I'm doing it in Haskell. Learn a little bit about it. You know, have some fun learning Haskell and things like that. And whatnot. So yeah, check it out there. I'm on the socials as well. You can follow me there. I'm on Mastodon at the types.pl server at Agent Ultra there as well. So give us a follow for like updates on this stream, general programming things, and I try to content warn anything that's like not tech or programming related. You can also go to my website, agentultra.com. It's got links to my YouTube channel where I back up my VODs, my projects, my blog posts, and all that stuff as well. And I do these streams about once a week on Wednesdays at 10 after 8 in the Eastern Standard Time Zone. So if you want to write that down and follow it and come back next week and watch, or you can follow me here on Twitch, set up your notifications, you get notified when I go online. And if you're watching from my YouTube channel, thank you so much. Give us a like, and subscribe, and leave a comment and all that sort of stuff to help out the channel get some visibility for what we're doing here. Thanks again for watching and hanging out. May all your monads be free, and your types always check. And also check out declarative.tv. I forgot, there's a link above my head there. Link to a Discord server. We have a channel on that server for this stream, or there's also lots of other streamers doing stuff in other cool declarative style programming languages, such as Haskell, but other things like Erlang and Elixir maybe, and things like that. So check it out. Yeah, that's all I got for this week. Stream's over. Thank you so much again, and see you next week. Take care.